Croeso pawb, hello and welcome to the Play for the Dragon podcast, Wales sports music, not always in that order either. We may as well get right into it today because it's been a pretty disappointing week of Welsh sport and weekend especially. I think Friday night, Jay Harris got stopped in the 8th round by Ricardo Sandoval. That was an IBF flyweight title eliminator, so unlucky there to Jay. There was the Wales game on a Saturday. Well, it's about a week now. Is it 8
last
days?
Saturday,
It's
yeah.
Sunday, so last Saturday. We've
That's
had
how
a
long
lot
it's
of time
taken
to
me-
mull it over anyway. So.
That's how long it's taken me to get out of bed again.
Oh man,
It took us a week to recover.
Um,
So that's why I'm
been
saying
rough.
this.
It's been rough. So since we've opened the can of worms nice and early, should we just get right into it? Because on Saturday we suffered our heaviest defeat in 9 years, I think, actually, which that's 9 years isn't bad. Losing in the round of 16 to Denmark by 4 goals to nil, not goes. Unfortunately, there's quite a lot to break down. There was a pretty contentious red card for Harry Wilson late-ish into the game. So I'd say good start, a good place to start maybe. Has anyone got a takeaway from that game overall or general opinion?
I thought we basically got outplayed in the end. They were like massively superior to us for 3/4 of the game, which is unfortunate because I thought going into it then we'd really match them and everything. But we had that first 20 minutes where Bale had all this freedom and he was cutting in, he had some shots on goal and stuff. If any of those sort of ambitious chances that Bale had go in, the game would have been so different, so different. And it's, a bit painful to think about it like that. But about 20th minute, the Denmark manager changes formation, goes to a back four and just completely strangles Ramsey out of the game entirely. Ramsey just goes entirely missing when he changes to a back four. And from then on out, it was just pressure on us. We couldn't get any sort of sustained possession. And they were just coming at us. Kasper Dolberg scores that pretty beautiful goal for the first one. And after that goes in for the rest of the first half and quite a bit of the second half as well. It just becomes a bit the Kasper Dolberg show, I thought he was outstanding. He was really, really good. The second goal kills us, really. One of the most disappointing things for us is I think the players' heads went down after the second goal, which was really early. I think it's like the 47th minute, wasn't it? So Kiefer Moore gets hacked down, taken out from behind. He's played through him to get to the ball. Somehow it's not a free kick. The ball's gone all the way down to the other side. Nearly goes in. Nico Williams makes a pretty shocking clearance, bit of suicide defending. And it goes in 47 minutes, heads go down, backs against the wall for the rest of it. And after that goal went in, I don't know about you guys, but I thought we looked so leggy. We looked so knackered and everything, which is to be understood, to be honest, to a level, because we've been so screwed by the format of this tournament where we've ended up going all over the place, back and forth, Baku, Rome, and where was that game again?
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. So I think in the end, we travelled most out of any other team, no?
I think Switzerland
We're one of
maybe
them.
Well,
a little more, but they have had another game now as well, so you factor that into it.
But now if you look at it, the 4 teams in the semi-finals played all of their group games at home. England, all their group games at home. Italy, all their group games at home. Spain, all of them in Sevilla. And who's the other one? And
Denmark.
Copenhagen.
All of them in Copenhagen. So it just goes to show
the Amsterdam game.
Apart from one. But no, I mean the group games. But it just goes to show what an absolute shambles this tournament has been. The organisation, everything. Above all, during a pandemic as well, we've gone all over the place. I think if our fans were in a stadium in Amsterdam, it would have made a massive difference. It's just a shame. Like I said, we've just been screwed by the head. Our heads wouldn't have gone down so early on if we had the red wall there. They'd be cheering him on and everything. I think we coped with it really well in Azerbaijan for the Turkey game. But the thing with Denmark as well, I'm sure you'll agree with me on this, boys. I think they're riding a massive wave of momentum currently. Yeah. I think they're playing far better than they are, because they've got something to play for. They've got someone to play for in Christian Eriksen after what happened. And I think that momentum matched with our sort of probably legginess from having gone all over the place, playing in really difficult, in really difficult conditions with the heat, and them having all those fans there and us not having those fans there. Not to make excuses, we were poor on the day, but all those things combined, I think, really led to us having a bit of a shocking game, to be honest, and ending up 4-0 down. That was it was really hard watching by the end of it, to be honest. It was like what's the word? Like it was a bit torturous, but when you just stick around because you don't want to be one of them that turns the telly off or anything. But I mean, the Harry Wilson red card, it happened and I walked out the room to go have a piss. I was like, no, I'm not having this, so I actually haven't seen it back. I saw him slide in a bit out of control, but in the moment it didn't look like a red card, but I can't really say because I hadn't watched it back.
It's not a red card, simple as that. So I'm going to.
He was awful when he was really bad.
One point I just want to mention, I think we've got to give credit to Denmark in fairness. Like you've mentioned, Ed, they changed the formation to match us. So they went 4-3-3. And that's how they put that Christensen onto Ramsey. And it was just a case of Ramsey has to get free and couldn't. But in my opinion, we need to sort of take blame ourselves in the terms of we stayed 4-3-3 until very late on, and I say very late on because I don't know when we actually changed it. And then we went to 5 at the back. We stayed that same formation. That was like our only plan, and it clearly didn't work. The first 10 minutes were great, and then after that, we sort of just struggled very much to get anything done.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
sorry, my screen just went a bit blank then, so I just thought, I just froze. I was like, hang on, is this recording still? But yeah, they changed, we didn't change, and that was the key moment for us, I'd say. So we decided to still carry on and go, and it's a shame how we've ended because we got the worst one that we could have probably asked for out of the 3 teams. After that late drama going on there, but that's football. But yeah, we sort of have to try and keep our heads up after it because we just said we'd be happy to get out of the group stage.
Yeah, that's what I've got written in my notes. At the end of the day, no matter what, I know the way we went out puts a bit of a dampener on things, but it has been a success in my eyes. I think like you said, Lewis, we wanted to get out of the group. We did. We came up against probably the team with the most to play for.
Yeah.
And it's backfired on. It doesn't help that the referee was an absolute. I don't know. He might as well be wearing a bloody Viking hat.
Maybe Joe Roden told him, didn't he? He said, you've been absolutely terrible today.
Terrible.
What is the,
another one.
Does anyone know what the rule is with the VAR? I know we can have a whole topic around it.
Is this for the second goal?
The second goal, it's clearly a foul.
I heard that's when they win the ball.
It was they win the ball from that foul, and then we do some poor defending, and it goes in.
Yeah.
I think the argument was
they need to take the look at the whole thing and just go, right, there's a clear foul there.
Yeah.
That's when they've won the ball. You can't have the goal, but they let it stand. And then they looked for if the ball went out of play.
Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it?
What?
I think the thing with the foul was it was too many phases behind him play however they it's not like rugby where you go into a ruck and that's a phase.
When they've picked the ball
it's a foul's a foul at the end of the day.
If it was like 30 seconds gone, fair enough, because you've got time to organise.
No, but it was dead fast, wasn't it?
It wasn't 30 seconds. It's a counter-attack.
Yeah.
Didn't even seem like a dubious foul as well. It was quite early into the second half. They were wanting to get stuck into
I think
more,
once we saw that
came through the back
second goal go in, we knew it wasn't going to be our day. And the red card summed up our day, really.
Yeah.
Just poor decisions and just stupidity, like at the end of it.
I think a big problem is that we had is like you said, Lewis, there's no plan B at all, really.
Yeah.
We went to 5 at the back, and nothing changed at all because we just couldn't stay on the ball. And I think a big problem with that is the fact that we rely so much on Kiefer Moore. He's literally the only attacker that we took to the tournament. If we had Harold Robson-Kanu on the bench, maybe he would have come on and made a difference. If we had Will Volks to mix up the midfield a little bit,
Yeah.
you really think that Will Vaulks and his sort of stamina and energy, he could have really made a bit of a difference. I know he plays. I think he plays left back at the moment, really, for Cardiff, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think they're playing with wing backs.
Yeah,
recently, but he can play as wing backs. He's left-footed, isn't he? And he sort of slots into midfield anyway. You want to put him.
Yeah, I mean,
I just think we got the formation wrong.
We did. We got it wrong.
We didn't change it up. I don't think it's a matter of bringing players on as such, because they were still going to stay the same shape.
Yeah.
If you bring someone on and change the formation, then it's interesting. But in my opinion, we just stayed the same shape. So you can bring players off and hope, we can hopefully get past someone. It's just unlikely, because you can ask them to do the same role. You can ask them to do something different in the role. And yes, sometimes it works. But I think when you've got dominated, and I think it showed we got dominated for a good few minutes, we were just not having it at all. So for me, we needed to change formation, and we didn't until later on.
Yeah,
it is a bit of a red flag, isn't it? It's a bit of a red flag when you're losing, and the only thing you can do is go back to a back five. That's not ideal, is it? That's not ideal.
Yeah, I think it's a hard one as well, because if you go, because we saw with Denmark was like when they were a back three, and we were playing with three up front, we were tearing them apart. Yeah. Then they changed it and stopped that going on. If we did that, are we going to get torn apart? It's because I'm still trying to think now what I would do in that situation. Like, what formation would you change to?
I think we were a bit late getting the subs on as well.
Yeah, we were late getting subs on, but what formation do you change to? It's a hard one, because 4-3-3 is very...
I'd probably go for a 4-2-3-1.
Sorry, I thought someone would bring this up.
It's the same formation, basically, isn't it?
It's basically
you just drop in the wingers.
The three, say that's a three, if you can say it. The wingers will just drop, and it's just one stuck up. That's the only difference. But I don't
a bit more
see it as anything different, because you still have got three as a triangle. It's annoying me, but I can't figure it out.
But because we got Nico Williams on, who can play so much higher and everything, you could push him up as a wing back. You know, he could have gone out on the left. I don't know, but at the end of the day, we just got it wrong.
Yeah,
we got it wrong.
Well, I think we got it right for the first 20 minutes. Like you said before, it's just when they brought Christiansen up to man Mark Ramsey, that just took the wind out of our game. And I think Ramsey gets his best players, that number 10, when he's getting in between the lines, because he can play those little flick 1-2s, sort of make those late runs into the box. And I think, when Moore's up there on his own, he's winning all the first balls, but there's no one there to win the second ball. Yeah. And I think the Danes were clearing up a lot of those. Because I think Danny Ward was struggling with his distribution against Italy, because he didn't have a target man until he came on to lump up to. Yeah. But, even in the Denmark game, he was sort of winning those headers constantly, but sort of after they brought that extra man into midfield, they're cleaning up all the second balls, and then they're having possession, relaunching their attacks. And
because even if Kiefer Moore doesn't win the ball, he usually, the man that's challenging him doesn't get to it either.
Or we won't get a clean head on it or something. They'll make you fight for it. So.
Exactly. So, but
two would have been better going up front.
Two, yeah. Well, I'm
just stick James or someone there, or Bale. I'm just trying to think now how you change it up, and that's one of the ways. But the only issue then is you'd get overloaded in midfield. But I mean, a lot of it sometimes we just do route one anyway. So doesn't matter unless. Do you just ask? Do you change it to like a diamond, very narrow-ish?
I don't know. At the end of the day, Denmark had more tactical flexibility than us. Yeah. And I think a big part of that probably also is the fact that Rob Page and the uncertainty around it all going into the tournament.
Well, it's an inexperienced manager against an experienced one. So
yeah, it's an inexperienced manager. He's not had a lot of time with the group really. Although in other podcasts he said he's been doing really well. For the amount of time that he's had, I think it reached a bit of a
I think it's fair to say he's done a good job though. I know we're downhearted by it, but he has done a good job.
He's the man. He's the man for me.
And he will learn, and he will get a Wales job if he is not going to be named on this channel.
Should get it anyway,
because we don't talk about Ryan Giggs on this show,
even though you just said his name. I think because of the time Page has been in as well, maybe he's not he's worked on that primary system 4 at the back and sort of being able to play through the lines and get Bale and James and Moore into the game up top because, you got the 2 pacing behind. And I think you look at how the system worked in the Turkey game, we came flying out and we were straight on it. And all those little 1-2 balls were working through the middle. And, so that's the thing with tournament football, though. Sometimes it works and sometimes it's working for a bit. The manager will switch it up. And, Denmark are a good side, like we said before. They've got, you look at how their sort of squad depth has come on over the past 10 years. Look at the kind of team they are now. And it's, I think, if we give Page a World Cup campaign, I think the next round of games are in September. You said before we came on, there's that Finland friendly a couple of days before. You're going to give him time to work on a second system to sort of be able to adjust mid-game. And it's going to give the players a bit more time to come through as well. Because I think we only had 6 players over 40 caps in that squad. So it's a really inexperienced squad we've taken to a tournament. They've played well over 3 games in the groups collectively, got out in second place, and drawn a really tough team in the last 16 with a few mitigating circumstances to make it more difficult. And, we've got battered. But, it's tournament football, it happens. You got to bounce back from it. We've got a young squad and we can build for the future, definitely, with this team. So.
I'll tell you what, I wish Turkey played better against the other teams so the victory felt more important. Because we were like, we played amazing. And then they've just... against
Russia showed up.
Also. But who for you guys is player of the tournament for us? I think there's only one answer for this, really, isn't there?
It's got to be Danny Ward, hasn't it?
Danny Ward, it has to be. Danny Ward, yeah. I think outfield, maybe Dan James was the most consistent performer for us, possibly. Joe Rodon had a great tournament.
Rodon, I'd say, for me.
But I think Danny Ward just has had such a great tournament, and I'm really chuffed for him because he's getting to the age now as well. He's not a young lad no more, and hopefully he'll have found himself a club from doing this where he can play first team football. Have you heard about this, by the way? Apparently, rumours are Hennessy to Chelsea.
Hennessy to Chelsea?
Yeah.
That'll be a homegrown rule type thing.
Yeah.
Have the youngsters out probably, sort of thing.
Aye.
Get another one with experience in. How about that would be?
I'm not going to complain if someone's training with the Chelsea coaches, and that'll do all right for me. But yeah,
so we can be the third choice Scott Carson type goalkeeper at Chelsea.
Exactly that. Yeah, that's what it's going to be, isn't it?
Or it's going to be for the homegrown quota. Or also, I know they have about 60,000 players out on loan, so they have to have, I think, 15 homegrown players in your 25-man squad or something. So that'll be to notch that up a bit, I reckon.
Did he go through the academy, Hennessy? I don't know.
No, but he's homegrown in the UK player, isn't he? Because he's from But yeah, I don't know what academy he came through, actually. Would it be Wolves?
I'm going to check now. Wolves, very possibly Wolves, yeah. Let's have a look.
But no, it's got to be.
Yeah, Wolves.
Yeah.
He's only been at Wolves and Palace. Everything else has been loans.
That wouldn't be such a bad move, though. He's going to get experience in the sort of.
I'd rather be sitting on Chelsea's bench than Palace's bench. But
they'll get a nice cup draw against a League Two team. They'll put him in. More game time than he gets for Palace, probably. So that's the thing with Ward. I think he's put in such good performances over a tournament that goes out to such a large audience. He's in the shop window now. I think, was it January or February, he signed 4-year, was it an extension or a 4-year contract with Leicester? So that probably might have been more of them protecting their investment heading into the summer.
Yeah, I think if I was someone, I'd be like a championship team he'll move to. Possibly. I don't think he's a Premier League keeper.
I don't know, mate.
I say that because I haven't seen him enough. I think a good, solid championship keeper, but I think when you compare him with some of the Premier League keepers, I think he's not someone a Premier League keeper's not written with him, sort of yet. I don't think.
If you compare him to the goalies in the tournament so far, he's up there with the best of them, isn't he?
Yeah, that's the thing. We're just going off a tournament.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think he could do it at a decent level Premier League team, Southampton. I don't know, a Crystal Palace. This kind of
Wolves were. This was a week or two ago, but they were supposedly interested.
Well, he's more likely down now. Well, he's more likely to take Rui Patricio's spot than Kasper Schmeichel, isn't he?
Yeah.
Although
That's the thing. I
Kasper
think
Schmeichel,
Patricio might be on his way out. So.
well, he's what, 30?
He's getting up there, 34, 30, something like that.
He's not
Getting
young,
really old.
Yeah. But anyway, looking onwards to the future, innit? So September, we've got a batch of games. Finland as a friendly on the 1st of September, Belarus away on the 5th of September, and then Estonia at home on the 8th, which is 3 games in what's basically a week. It's a bit mad, that, isn't it?
It's a fair bit of travelling. Cardiff to Minsk and back in.
Yeah. And back
a 3-day turnaround, something like that.
Friendly's going to be a second team.
Yeah,
all the guys that aren't going to play to see what they've got, and then the maybe 1 or 2 first teamers, and then the 2 qualifiers are going to be the first team.
Yeah. What are you thinking for these qualifiers? I'm thinking it has to be 6 points, really, doesn't it?
I'm quite confident. Yeah, I think 6 points.
It has to be. If not, then we're going to be looking at
sort of the points you need to pick up, but you wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting a draw.
Exactly.
Somewhere, because we're away at one stage, so they could easily just sit down and make themselves hard to beat. But yeah, I think when you go and look at it, Wales are favourite for those games. I think that's a fair comment. But if they decide to sit there and become hard to break, then we're going to struggle, which they will do.
I'll tell you one thing, boys. I'm glad we played against Czech Republic before this tournament, because they've
really come out,
good, yeah. And you know, it was Schick that got sent off against us.
It was. Yeah.
So thank God for that. Yeah, nice one, Connor Roberts, irking him, getting him sent off and everything. Because he's a top scorer, I think, actually, at the moment.
So he's level with Ronaldo.
Yeah,
I think
they're both out.
Both on 5, yeah.
So I'm very glad we got 3 points against them early on. We're going to have to play them again but not twice. So that's good. They got a point out of Belgium as well, if I remember rightly.
Mm-hmm.
So they're on 1.
Yeah, they started well.
Yeah, they're on 1 point. We're on 3.
And we've got Belgium at home for the return. It's a home fixture, so that hopefully puts us at a bit more of an advantage.
If we lose again to Belgium and do all right in the rest of our games, then we should be okay.
Yeah, I think when you look at us, you sort of always got that seed 1 who's your strongest, which in this case is Belgium, and then it's almost like a fight for second place. And I think that's the one we're sort of looking at. It's like we know we might be able to pinch something off Belgium. We might
have to be really optimistic to think we're top of the group.
Obviously, football can change. We might be able to. We might not. But yeah, we need to just be any other games we've got like Belarus, Estonia. We need to go full out. Yeah. Let's go and get the points against those teams, because you will find they are sometimes the harder games. Because like I said a minute ago, they will just sit there and they're just hard overnight. 90 minutes, you're going, oh my God, we're not going to break these down. And then suddenly something happens. But
that's the thing with Wales.
Play against, they are really tough because they'll just sit there, and we've got to try and break them down. It's so hard to do that if we don't get it right, then there could be a shock of a 0-0 or something.
Well, what seems to be happening at the moment with Wales is that we find a way to win against the smaller teams that give us big problems, like Finland did, like who was it that we played in the Nations League as well?
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria gave us problems. We found a way. So I think against Estonia and against Belarus, I think it's going to be the same sort of thing. 1-0 and everything.
It'll be a slow, dull affair. That's what it'll be, I think.
What we seem to struggle with is playing against teams bigger than us. Like we've gone a long time without having lost and everything, and now the only team that we've beat that I think ranked higher than us is Mexico in that friendly 1-0. Mm-hmm. Every other team that we played above us have beaten us, and quite well also. Like Belgium 3-1.
France with 10 men.
France with 10 men.
Italy as well.
Italy, Denmark. Were Denmark above us?
I think
they
so.
Probably are. They probably are.
Quite highly ranked.
So they would, because we had them in that Nations League last time.
Yeah, they were the highest seed than us.
And they beat us.
Yeah, they went up, didn't they?
Because we had Ireland in that group with us as well.
Didn't they get to the semi-finals of the Nations League or something?
Really
they beat England twice. Did they? Beat England twice.
Let's hope they do it again Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever
it is. Everyone seems to have forgotten about that result quite sharpish, isn't they? So
that's the thing. They're a good side, and I think what we struck. I know you two went to the it was the return fixture in the Nations League when they played at Cardiff. One thing I noticed over those 2 games, they were super hard to break down with that back 5.
100%.
And like you said, with we're playing 2 smaller teams in these around the qualifiers. They are going to sit back and be hard to break down, and we just need to bring those players into the game to draw them out, use the space in between the lines to sort of shift them around, and ultimately, when it comes down to it, we need to take chances as well. And there were a few occasions when we maybe necessarily didn't in the tournament. You don't want to be too harsh about it, though, do we?
Yeah.
But I think it's just important to keep that momentum going that we had sort of early on in the group. Like, we played all right for, was it 5-10 minutes against Belgium? I know Wilson scored really early on. And then
Alan got injured, didn't he?
That was it. He went off after
Alan got
about
injured
5 minutes.
and he was literally our main. Well,
Alan
I was holding everything together, and then it broke down once he went off.
Alan had a good Euros again.
Yeah, he's a solid player.
He's very good. He is very good. When you think about the lack of football he's had going into that tournament, so I thought he played very well. And I thought the Denmark game was probably his worst game of the tournament, but he still, he definitely wasn't the worst performer on the pitch by a country mile. So I love Joe Allen. What a boss. VAR for life. VAR for life.
We Joe Allen.
We Joe. Aye. Well, what about Wrexham, boys? New manager, finally.
It's quite a good appointment, personally. I don't know loads about Phil Parkinson, but he's got a lot of Football League experience. Did very well with Bradford City as well. I think League Cup final.
Yeah, he's
so
like
was
the
it the
only
first time to take a League 2 team to
Wembley?
Wembley. Well, I think people have done it in the playoffs before, but like in a cup competition, I think they got turned over by Swansea and they had a bit of a dodgy red card, but still, I think they did quite well that season. I don't know if it was automatic promotion or he's done all right though. I think it was Sunderland, his most recent job.
Yeah,
so a lot of Sunderland fans giving it big on the Twitter with
they're
jumping
saying,
over, but.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about him either, but I mean, he's obviously got a good, like you say, Football League pedigree. He's a League One manager, I suppose, coming down to the National League. So he must have seen something in us to make that jump and everything. What's the opposite of jump? Fall? I don't know. But yeah,
I think sidesteps the term they like to be said, so they don't feel like they're stepping down.
Aye, but I mean, what all the Sunderland fans say is that he'll make you hate football and everything. He's very negative and everything. But I mean,
that'll be perfect for me then.
Exactly, yeah. Well, Lewis will be absolutely chuffed with that. Yeah, you don't know who you're talking to, boys.
I don't mind as long as he's getting 1-0 we get out of this league. I don't mind.
Who in the National League plays really high pressing, tiki-taka, sort of front three going on the front foot? Who plays like that in the National League, though?
Exactly. I think it's a great appointment. I think it's exactly what the Wrexham fans have been asking for, really, isn't it? Which is someone with experience in taking teams up and keeping them there. So that's exactly what we've got, really. Who's he been with? Sunderland, Bolton, all those teams are in real dire straits. I don't know if that's a bad thing. And Bradford as well. But give him a chance, definitely. I think it's a good appointment. I mean, he'll make his name on the pitch for us, to be honest. I think, but I haven't seen a lot of negativity from Wrexham fans about it, which is a bit of a miracle, because Wrexham fans sometimes, when you're talking, as a group of fans, I'm not including ourselves in this because I think we're a bit more realistic, but if you go on some of the chat rooms and stuff like Red Passion and that, some of the fans have got this weirdly inflated.
They hate everything.
They hate everything.
Nothing's good enough.
So many people were saying Mark Hughes will have Sparky. Sparky will be the manager. It's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Look, I'll have my say on this. I'll wait until I've seen him perform before I say anything. I mean, it sounds good, but we've had a few where we've gone, we've got a decent manager here, and it's not worked out. So this might be different. I hope it is, but I'm just going to not say anything and just wait until we see what the results are before I comment.
Depends who he brings in as well, player-wise, because was it 9 players they released at the end of the season, basically clearing house at that point. And, he's bad, but I don't know how long he's been managing. Got to expect maybe 10, 15 years. So he's accumulated a lot of experience. So meeting other people, he's going to know players he can bring in, or, players who might be sort of not quite at League One, League Two level, but can really cut it in the National League. So if he's going to have those contacts to be able to build a squad and bolster us to be able to, you know, look past the bloody playoffs, let's look for the automatic promotion spots.
Definitely.
It's not like he's going to have a little chump change transfer kitty to go after the market where they sign in sponsorship deals with TikTok and Aviation Gin. I can't remember TikTok's global worth, but I think Ryan Reynolds about a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago now, sold Aviation for $26 million, something ridiculous like that. You know, they're pretty famous gin brand. I think up until recently, I only know this because I worked there, but they were the house gin at Revs. So, you know, it's quite a good deal, quite a big bar chain in the UK. That's the thing, you know, having those two owners in charge of the club, they're going to be able to bring in sort of those opportunities for the club to be marketed. And I've seen loads of people on Twitter as well jumping onto TikTok now who are Wrexham fans just because they're the shirt sponsor. Not that I'm going to do that myself because, you know, it's not really my thing, but
the new kit is pretty sexy as well. It has to be said. It's a very
model
good
it
kit,
slightly.
Yeah, there you go. We've got Martin. Thank you very much. Beautiful, beautiful.
TikTok,
it's very nice.
Give us your data, peasants.
Hey, and what did you say about it? It's broken the records, isn't it, for selling out?
Yeah. So I went on Thursday to. Was it Thursday? Yeah, it was Thursday because I was working. So I went. It got in my little car, toddled all the way from Tesco Broughton to the racecourse, parked up down one of the side streets because I forgot you could park at the university because I haven't been there for ages. Walked up, got in the queue. It was queuing quite far around the student place by the time I got there. It'd be about 10:30, 20 to 11. The chap on the door that was letting everyone in, I think he said in one day they've broken at least the online, they couldn't calculate the in-store sales figures while they're selling, obviously, could they? But within one day they broke the record for shirt sales online in a day. That's usually a record that accumulates over a course of a year. I think they broke it by quite a lot as well. So that just,
why do you think
the shirt sold out online as well in the first day? I saw a few people kicking off that couldn't get it.
So. I think so. No, some just asked why, and I think it's just because it's excitement. It's new. It's more positive at the minute. We've been taken over by famous millionaires, basically. And we haven't had this before. They've put in a lot more work into the stuff. It's gone from being, we're a National League team now to almost going, right, we're getting these, like, we're going up.
Yeah.
Like, we're going up in a reputation now. We're getting a bit more notice. And I wonder if that's the shirt that's going to be the one that we take up with us and get out the league. I wonder if that's going to be the one. So a lot of people might just be like, oh, this could be it. This is new. It does look nice as well.
I think that's actually a good point as well. What you say, it looks like, I think it's just it's another step towards like that confidence in Ryan and Rob, isn't it? Like the fact, you know, it's a nice kit. They've released it well. They've made a good hype around it. The managers come out and everything. Everything feels like it's a step in the right direction, like you're saying, Lewis.
Yeah, it's just they've done it right. They've got a big sponsor, which is huge for National League teams to get someone as famous as TikTok. I'll be honest, when I first saw it, I went, oh my God, we've got TikTok. I'm not a fan of the app. But straight away after it, I was a bit like, hey, a lot more money for us. But I think with just the excitement and the new buzz around the club with a takeover that's taken place and everything, I think this is why. I think Ryan and Rob are doing a great job, at least promoting Wrexham. Like you'll see him in some sort of video in a Wrexham shirt or something. Like, we know what it is. It's like, oh, great, look, our owners doing it, we'll do it. Or they've just promoted us around the world a lot more. Like the I wonder what the sales are in America.
Yeah, that'd be very interesting, actually.
That'd be an interesting one to look at.
Because
increased
not long ago in Wrexham as well, they had the free membership. You could sign up for free and everything.
Yeah, they've had that. So there's been loads of little things like that, and just the way they've dealt with it, they've helped promote it and made the record sales. I think that is why. It's just because there's tons of that going on, but it is general excitement within the club.
It's the first pre-season game as well. I can't remember the name. Is it Philadelphia Union?
Yeah.
Is that the side, Philadelphia Union?
Yeah.
Because it's quite funny because I believe the suburb they play in is actually called Chester.
Yeah.
Is it actually?
In Philadelphia, yeah. I don't know if it's actually in Philadelphia, but where the stadium is, the suburb's Chester. So that's quite funny.
Is true. I remember seeing that.
Look at that. I believe if it's Philadelphia Union, they're an MLS team, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's fantastic promotion. Like I know soccer, football is massive over in America, but you're playing an MLS team. It's a team that's owned by an American and a Canadian, an American from Philadelphia. The amount of promotion that's going to bring in, and the amount of American eyes you're going to get on the club, and they're filming that documentary series as well. They had the little disclaimers taped up around the wall and that around the stadium. So if you do go to the racecourse this season and you don't want to be filmed, you're not allowed to come in for the games. I believe that's what I read anyway.
Yeah.
But we will.
I'm well, I'll be there
just
possible.
I'll get me tits out with Ryan and Rob pictures on them, whatever. I don't care. Get me on the.
Have one on each.
I'd rather go blind.
Well, you might do after I do it, to be honest.
I think I'll be blind before you do it, mate.
As
soon as you do it,
I
I'll be
really
like,
hope they
gone.
interview you for this documentary, Lewis, if you're ever at the racecourse and they're doing a little fun segment.
Yeah.
Just go, I want you to give your 1970s football opinions on how Wrexham aren't playing through the lines properly, and if we had a big lad up top instead of these tricky wingers trying to be strikers.
Rough old defenders, isn't it?
But they're doing what they're doing very well as well. Ryan and Rob is they're really sort of trying to get to the heart of the community and everything. I think as well, which is
they've already done it.
Yeah, well, and on the back of the shirt, it's got the year of the exactly the disaster. So little things like that go a long way. You've got Rob McElhenney tweeting in Welsh and everything, in very very formal Welsh, I'll say as well. That's not like that's not what people talk in Wrexham. I'll tell you that for free. But it's very formal. He's doing it in like university Welsh and that. But just little things in it. It's just nice. Just bringing positivity around the club. I mean, we've almost become like, I don't know, we've almost started to enjoy the sarcastic, ironic downfall of Wrexham to a point, haven't we? Where we'd be in the stands like, oh, there we go, 1-0, losing again. It become a bit of a, you just got so used to it and everything.
Well, here's one for it. I think I looked at some betting thing the other day, and I think we are 11-2. Obviously, odds change from when I was, but we're 11-2, and I think that was second favourite to win.
Behind who? Stockport.
Stockport were the same. Sorry.
Stockport are the same, right? Interesting. Yeah. I think we've got as good a chance as anybody, to be honest. I think
it might be worth sticking £1 on or something. Double your money.
Why not?
You don't get a lot for that. Was it 11-2?
I can't do maths, mate. I've just worked it out.
I'm not
I check on Betway, but it's decimal odds, so you'll have to watch my brain explode trying to convert them into actual fractions. But no, it just depends who the players we can bring in the summer are. Big gaps in the squad.
Someone interesting will come along, I think.
You've got to think with the manager, the stature of the club, the opportunity to play in front of a lot of fans at the racecourse as well. Now, it's not going to be, a couple of times when we went more recently before the shutdown and everything, it was fairly full, but pretty big gaps in some of the. I know
how much
people in the cop end, but
that first game we're going to be. That first game is going to be like 15,000, 16,000, I think.
You're going to have to get a ticket or you're not getting in. It's going to be one of them. Yeah.
I think the ticket, we'll still be able to pay on the door. Maybe first one might be a lot harder.
Out,
but maybe with COVID, the rules will change as well. But I think for a while, they'll still be paying on the gate.
I don't know. I think the most full I've ever seen the racecourse, I think, was 8,000 Salford on Boxing Day when we beat them 5-1. I think that's the most full I've seen it, 8,000.
I can't think.
For a Wrexham game, not a Wales game.
I think mine's different because I would have. I've been when they, what do you call it? Stand was still a thing.
The cop.
In the cop.
Yeah, the cop. Sorry.
I think I might have seen them play. I don't know if
I've had a few friends
when they were in League Two. I can't remember if that was still open, but I saw them play Leighton. Or you went to that game as well, didn't you, Sam? That was pretty full.
That was my first proper footy game. Wrexham Leighton Orient, because when they'd won the LDV trophy, wasn't it?
I believe it was a 2-2 draw as well.
Something.
Memory serves.
I'll have to Google that.
That was pretty full that day. Though. I mean, they took a coachload of kids from Muscogber and Hedith, but
yeah. What do you think about the new Swansea badge as well? Have you seen that?
Yes, I don't want to call it like a retro throwback, but it is like a bit of an ode to. I don't know if it's exactly the same as the old badges. So I quite like it though.
It's classy, I think, isn't it? It's very classy.
If you look at where some teams have gone from their old badge to new badges, like Chelsea's badge, for example, I thought was a big improvement when they changed that years ago.
Yeah.
You look at the one Leeds United wanted to change theirs too. Yeah.
God.
So, but if you base it on those, I think they've done really well. It's a nice badge.
It's very nice. The new kit is actually really classy as well. It's great. Again, it looks like another sort of like, I don't know, early 90s, late 80s sort of style kit, you know, with the white, but like the sort of more satin sort of strips and stuff. It's very nice. And they've just signed a new striker as well, who's got a bit of buzz around. I don't know how to say it, Joel Piroy or something. He's Dutch. He's come from PSV Eindhoven, I think.
Oh, that's a good sign.
So yeah, I mean, Steve Cooper, I think, has done a great job with the Swans since he's been there. I know he gets a lot of stick, and I can't really work out why, but he's got him to 2 years, both times the playoffs. So we got to the playoff final this year, but that didn't go well. But I quite fancy Swansea to make a really good go of it this season. What do you reckon?
I think they could do. I think haven't they lost Ayew over?
They have lost
so
Ayew.
I think he's moved on. He was a big goal threat for them, so they'd have to replace him. I don't know if
he also had
this
the highest...
new lad's someone they want to replace him with. But...
Ayew had the highest wages in the championship as well, I think. So it could be a good thing that he's gone as well. Because it'll free up a lot of wage bill for them to go out and put some proper strength in depth and try and, you know, push a bit further on again. I mean, the only further on he can go is going up. So in playoff finals. So there you go.
I agree with you about Steve Cooper, though. I think he's done a very good job. I don't know if some of the criticisms maybe come from a bit of an inability to change his system when it's not working. Because I know he's very set on 5 at the back, being quite rigid, using your wing backs to get forward and get the ball into the box. I think they play with 2 midfielders usually as well. I think
he changed it up a bit, like halfway through the season last season, and I think then he went back to it again for the playoffs. Didn't he?
I think it worked for a little bit when he changed it, because I think he changed to a back 4, and then it stopped working for a while, so we went back just to sort of shore the defence up and see him over the line. But I think Palace are interested. Was it Palace were interested in maybe getting him, but they've got Vieira now. He probably wasn't going to go to Spurs, but I think Nuno's been announced to there now. Maybe heard Wolves might want him, but I don't know who they're getting in for
Wolves
manager.
have got someone in already, haven't they?
They got someone in already.
They got the Benfica manager just to keep the Portuguese contingent.
Just keep all the Portuguese lads happy. Fair enough. I
didn't know that. What, Patricio has gone to...
He has. I'm pretty sure I've heard he's gone to Crystal Palace.
That's cool.
I'm excited to see how he does.
Him, I love Vieira.
Big fan of Vieira,
mate. He is and everything. I think it'll be a good character for the league, I reckon.
Definitely, he's a bit of don't think he did so well with Nice, so it'll be interesting to see. I think it's his 3rd job as a manager. I think he had to go in the MLS or something.
Yes, you're right. With New York, whatever, into New York.
One of the New York teams or something like that. Some soccer team that aren't very good. Have a load of retired Europeans.
Who do you guys fancy for the Premier League next year?
For the title or to be promoted?
The title. To win the Premier.
I think it's too early, but I want to go City. I think they're favourites. Yeah, I think
Chelsea will have a good.
I think when you've got a manager like Guardiola who's got it right now with City, I think they're just going to take it. United apparently linked with big players, but I
signed Sancho now, haven't they? That's been
Sancho, and I think they're linked with Varane from Madrid.
So they could be something. Though, did he?
Yeah.
No. There could be something interesting there. Whether they perform's a different thing, but also I don't think the fans are still interested in the manager. So you never know. It's a bit of a weird one for United. Chelsea, I don't think are in it. Liverpool.
You don't think so? I think Chelsea can have a really big. I think
Sorry,
Chelsea could have it.
Chelsea would be my pick, to be honest.
Honestly, I thought it was still Frank Lampard for a second until you went, they're doing well. And then I went, hang on a minute, I've got the wrong manager in my head.
Well, they won the Champions League
since you woke up, mate. So.
Yeah, oh God. It's been a long
City
week,
as well.
Right. It's been a long week.
Praise on
maybe Chelsea could have a go at it. Liverpool.
Careful.
Some great comment.
Sorry, you can say what you want about Arsenal. I know full well they'll probably finish 12th, and Aubameyang will leave in January.
Arsenal on in it.
I'm
saying they're not even in the top 10, mate.
Leicester have got a good little chance of popping into a European spot again.
Yeah,
I think they're brilliant at the minute. Liverpool, what do I fancy them doing?
Second.
Oh God, I think it's a hard one just because Liverpool were weird last season. A bit too much for me, and I think
I think
Klopp needs to get it right, because obviously there's loads of things we can look at, but I felt Klopp was just a moaner last year.
Oh, well, come on, Lewis. He lost his best players.
Yeah, but come on. All he did was moan. He'd gone from being everyone's favourite, even if you weren't a fan of Liverpool, you liked Klopp, and now it's just the fixtures again. It's just we haven't got the players. How long was Van Dijk out for? A good long season. How long did you have to plan to buy someone in? You didn't.
But
I've got no sympathy.
the owners wouldn't really let him spend more than 3.5 million on a centre back, and they had to be under the age of 21 with 0 Premier League experience.
We haven't kept Kabak as well. They've let him go.
Was it just a loan?
Yeah, it was a loan with option to buy, and they didn't buy him, which I'm a bit surprised about. I thought he got a good future.
Good young player.
Yeah,
good option.
Ben Davis, who they bought from Preston.
He's
just. I know someone needs to check he's still alive, to be honest, because he's.
But there we go.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It is difficult because
that's your transfer market.
But when you spent 75 million,
about Van Dijk being injured, sort your transfers out.
Yeah, but
instead of playing, we've got no defenders, you've just taken your midfielders and stuck them in there. Centre back's his own role. Yeah, but you lose the span of the team with the midfield and defence.
He was just trying to do what Guardiola did with was it Fernandinho? Played basically a season at centre back for City the year before. It was the year you won the title, wasn't it?
We could have a conversation.
We can't plan for having 3 backs out.
I mean, they'll be up in top 4.
Yeah, probably.
Whether they win it, I don't think so.
I don't think we'll win it this year. Although we bought Konate from RB Leipzig. He's a quality centre back. So I don't know. It depends a lot again on the transfers to come. The transfer market after a major tournament is always really entertaining, to be honest, because some of the rumours are just ridiculous. But I don't know. See what happens. I think probably I'm going to put my money on either City or Chelsea, to be honest. I think Chelsea, with Kai Havertz sort of coming into form for them in the later stages of the Premier League and having scored the win in the Champions League. I think he had a decent Euros, actually, to be honest, Kai Havertz. In a German team that really didn't live up to what they should have again. But he played very well, I thought. So my money's on. I'm going to say Chelsea just to be different because I don't like City.
Well, I was going to say Chelsea because I think they've been playing really well under Thomas Tuchel, and they did all right with Lampard, but I don't like this whole giving someone who's an ex-player automatically the job of being a manager with 0 experience whatsoever. Look at Arteta, who hasn't done an awful job, but he hasn't, sometimes those sort of tactical flaws where they don't know how to change a system or don't know how to manage a dressing room, they really show, and that can be really costly. But Chelsea have finally got a manager in that knows what it is to get to, the latter stages of competitions. I don't think he ever won the Champions League with Dortmund, but they used to get into later rounds.
He got in the final with PSG the year before, didn't he?
Yeah, that was it. So he has got to a Champions League fight. He's done well domestically with Dortmund as well when he was there, because he was the one who replaced Klopp, was he not?
He was,
So, he's a solid manager. He's got a good fairly young average squad age-wise, you'd say. I think Thiago Silva's one of the main old ones I can think of. Jorginho might be getting up there a bit, and Kante, but they've got those players in the team that can just sort of control a game, and especially if you've got Kante, I think you've got probably 60% chance of winning the league. You just need to put those other pieces together to be able to be honest, to make it happen. Maybe if they can get Timo Werner scoring a few more, that'd be my only concern for them. I don't see a 20-goal a season striker in that team at the minute.
That's true.
Giroud, I'm never gonna disrespect because he's an absolute Adonis of a man, and I love what he did at Arsenal. I think I've heard Tammy Abraham might be on his way out, which is a bit weird.
I've heard to West Ham is something I heard. Which would be
I don't think that'd be a bad move.
Leicester as well.
But I don't think Leicester will go for it.
If they are getting rid of Abraham, you've got to expect they'd be looking for a striker. If City are going to spend 250 million on Kane and Grealish, then why don't Chelsea use an Abramovich loan to go after Erling Haaland and make a title race really interesting this year?
True.
What do you think about Kane and Grealish going to City? Do you think do you think Guardiola should stop moaning that, we're not going to sign a striker, we don't have any more? You're literally owned by people who sit on top of oil. Of course you have money to go after players. What are you talking about?
Well, Well, let's just say this now. If Harry Kane does join Man City, I think
It's over.
you can guarantee there's going to be goals galore in that team.
He's had a bit of a shock in Euros. I know he's come into 40. He scored 2
Oh,
goals
yeah, but
yesterday.
Played well yesterday.
he's one of
I have
them.
to say.
He knows how the Premier League works. He
Yeah.
is a world-class striker. And if he goes and plays with De Bruyne, oh my days. Like, there's God knows how many goals. He'll probably score double what he did at Tottenham, maybe. It'll be interesting, but yeah, I think that just strengthens.
These transfers never go well, though, do they? These big transfers in the same league, they never really go well. I don't really want to think.
The only one I'm thinking might happen to is Grealish.
Grealish, no, I reckon he'll stay.
Because where do you fit him in that City team?
You'd take out De Bruyne, wouldn't you?
Well, I think a lot of people were talking
Hang
about
on a minute.
Sterling.
You would
being
take out
dropped
De
from the City
Bruyne
team.
for
I don't
Jack
think he played
Grealish?
that.
No, you'd have to if you're going to put him in.
I thought you said that's what you would do. I was like,
Well, no, you
what?
can play him as like a left winger as well, though, can't you?
True.
I think well, until this tournament, a lot of criticism of Sterling. I don't think he's had the best season by any stretch of
But
the
then again,
imagination.
where do you put Morris? Okay, Morris is a
On
bit
the
more of a
right.
bench starter sort of player. But
If you played inverted wingers, you have Grealish on the left, Mahrez on the right, or
just so they've got so many options, it's hard.
Ferran Torres has been very good as well in the Euros for Spain.
Yeah.
Like that's my only issue with him going to City is where do you put him? You've got Foden as well.
Foden.
They've got so many options. Where do you put him in?
I always thought Grealish was more linked with United than City.
If they're paying for Sancho, though, they're probably not going to pay for two similar.
It's just that question of if he does go to City, where do you play him? Like
someone loses out, don't they? Basically.
Left winger,
someone's got to drop, and it's a question of is Jack Grealish better than who you're going to take out? It's so tight, you can hardly say.
Yeah,
it'll be an interesting one.
That's why it's so difficult to bet against City looking into a season, though. They've just got two players for every position, haven't they?
Grealish, what's the update with that?
I ain't nothing. I don't think Kane will go.
After the tournament, they said.
Yeah, I think Kane will come off, but Grealish, I mean, I could be wrong in saying it's not going to happen, but I just don't see it. I don't great move.
I don't see it happening with Kane purely because the money involved. I don't think anybody after the pandemic can afford to spend 200 odd million. And then,
if there's one club, that can,
you've got to think they can afford to spend that. I mean, they've spent $500 million on defenders in 8 years or something.
Yeah.
They might not even spend the amount that's been rumoured as well.
I know financial fair play is just a joke and everything, but they have got in trouble with it a little bit with the Champions League and all this and that. So
who cares about financial fair play though? When Barca have got told they had a transfer ban and bought
just Arda Turan and a few other players.
Who do they buy now?
I don't know.
Was it Suarez they bought?
I think they bought Turan in like the January because I remember the ban came in during the season, but they kept on buying players.
Was it that year? The band them just bought someone for like 100 million or something. It's like the whole thing's a joke, especially if you've got the money City have. Like they'll just break it and it'll be like, oh, we'll fine you a little bit of money. All right,
dropped in the ocean, so they'll get like a 60 grand fine, and the owner can probably sneeze that out for breakfast.
Find it on the couch, innit?
Yeah. That's the thing, if you're going to have these financial fair play measures in to try and keep football on a level playing field, excuse the really poorly found pun, you've got to actually, when teams break the rules, do something about it, put sanctions in, kick them out of the Champions League, deduct points in the league or whatever, actually go through with transfer bans. I think Chelsea's transfer embargo thing was a bit more dubious, which is why they got let off with like 6 months.
Yeah.
It was a 2-year ban and they only served 18 months, I think, or something.
And they bought Kovacic.
Yeah, they that was another loophole because they loaned him with an agreement to buy after. So that was they were very clever there, and I think they got that in before the thing came. But, they suffered a bit of that, and they had to rebuild their squad through using their youth academy. And if anything, you could say to a point it might have made them better because look at the players that come through, like Reece James, Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham until last season. Maybe he was looking like he could turn into a decent.
I think he was still Chelsea's top scorer last season.
I think so. Yeah, that, you can say to a degree it helped them maybe.
Yeah,
So, but you've actually got to go ahead. Like, look at how many times do Barcelona skirt the rules and UEFA alone let them off.
Imagine how good Chelsea could have been if they didn't waste their time with Frank Lampard. Anyway, would you like a quiz question, guys?
Yes, I completely forgot you said you had a trivia question. Fire away.
This is very difficult. It is very difficult.
Oh, for God's sake, Sam.
Am I going to need a pen and paper?
Probably, yeah. Right. How many goal scorers, individual goal scorers, have Wales had in major tournaments? So there's 3 major tournaments to talk from. I'm not counting Euro 76. So it's goal
7.
scorers. Wait. Goal scorers in Euro 2020, Euro 2016, and the World Cup 1958. So there's 3 tournaments. How many goal scorers? So you say 7.
Yeah, why not?
I'm not going to bother trying to work it out. I'm going to try and do it mentally.
He hasn't even indicated if I'm close, so I'm guessing I'm nowhere near.
Well, I'm going to wait till Martin has a pop, and then I'll say who's closer.
I just ran a first number that came to my head.
12.
Martin is closer, but he's too high.
Too high.
10.
No.
9.
8, 9.
11.
11 goal scorers.
Okay.
So 11 separate goal scorers. Okay. Now, can you name them?
Fucking.
Okay, let's work backwards.
For God's
Are we
sake.
working as a
Bale,
team
Ramsey,
or
Kanu.
are we in opposition?
Say again.
No, we'll just do it together, Martin. I suck at these questions.
Bale, Ramsey, Kanu.
Bale, Ramsey, Kanu. Yeah.
Neil Taylor, Ashley Williams,
Neil
Connor
Taylor,
Roberts.
Ashley Williams, Connor Roberts.
That's
right.
6. Did John Charles score at the World Cup in 58?
John Charles scored 1 goal against Mexico, I think.
I haven't got a clue for the 58. Not a clue. How many have we got?
You have
7.
got so far 7. You're missing
4 more.
1,
I
2,
think.
3, 4.
What years?
Well, you've got 2 for the 1958 World Cup. One of them you're probably not going to get. The other one you might. And then you've got 2, one from this Euros that maybe
Kiefer Moore.
Here. Kiefer Moore, there you
Oh,
go.
God, yeah.
And one from the other Euros.
Ledley? No, Ledley didn't. No. Who did? No, God.
Bale. No, who scored against Russia? It was Ramsey, Taylor, Bale.
Ben Davis?
Oh, it was an own goal.
No. Against Northern Ireland.
Against Northern Ireland.
Belgium.
I said William. Oh, Vokes.
Sam Vokes.
Oh, my God, yeah, folks. I knew it'd be a striker and I just couldn't get the name. For some reason, Simon Church popped into my head. Probably because I don't like him.
Right, Lewis.
And you got 2 more.
Players from 1958 can you name?
I'll give you a clue. They're both Swansea legends.
I'm out.
You're out. Fair enough. I mean, it's difficult, eh?
Just tapped out, mate.
You tapped out. Okay. Ivor Church
Yeah.
and Teddy Medwin.
I wouldn't have got through.
No, I mean,
No.
okay.
No. That's good.
It goes on. It goes on.
Oh, no. Multifaceted.
Can you put them in order of how many goals they scored?
Oh, sugar.
Put the players in order of how many goals they've scored for.
Yeah.
So Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale's the most. How many with?
This is horrible.
They say this most times.
It's horrible, isn't it? We're
They go
nearly
through these
done.
stats
Here we go.
constantly
I'm
in,
just
like,
going to leave you on these
pre-matches and
questions.
never
You've got to
remember
figure out. And you've got to do it quickly whilst being recorded.
Aye.
And
Just
show you
enjoy
struggling.
accentuating the torture. Right.
Bale,
Well,
Ramsey.
prolong-
You guys are very
torture,
welcome to
sorry.
think of questions also. I'll put that
It's
out.
been a
busy
rough
week.
week, Sam. You just
I've been
ladling
busy.
it
I
on
did this
there.
I've
about
actually
10
got
minutes
the
before
best
coming in.
reason as well.
So Bale is first. with
Kanu
3.
has 1, doesn't he?
No,
Does he have 2?
he's got 2. He scored in the Slovakia game also.
Right.
Is this
So
goals at the tournament or goals
Williams
overall
won.
for
overall of
Wales?
them, no, for the tournaments.
Williams
So,
1.
Wait. So Bale is first with 3. There's 3 players that scored 2 goals.
Ramsey
Ramsey.
scored 2.
Ramsey scored 2. That's
And
right.
Kanu scored 2.
Kanu
Yeah.
scored 2 also.
More?
And then
more.
all the rest are on 1.
No.
No, there's 1 more and 2.
1 more and 2. Moore's only scored 1, hasn't
Yeah,
Did Old Church score 2?
Old Church scored 2. Well done.
he? Okay.
Even
So
Old
then the rest
Church.
are all on 1.
Thank you,
And then
Ellis
the rest
James.
are on 1. Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Right, we made that easy, didn't we?
So John Charles only scored 1. Teddy Medwin only scored 1. Neil Taylor against Russia. It was, isn't it? Vokes against Belgium. Ashley Williams against Belgium. Connor Roberts against Turkey, and Moore against Switzerland.
Nice.
And there you go.
As frustrating as it was, that was a very well formulated question.
There you go. Yeah,
I'll give him that one.
Layers, boys. Layers. All right.
Trivia master.
Well, next time you guys need to put the effort in, right? Because I'm missing out on the
freaking busy week.
I'm missing out on the fun of trying to guess these, because it looks very fun. You look like you're enjoying yourself. Not stressful at all.
I'll come up with something. Just remind me when we next do it, and I'll figure something out.
Aye. Right then, boys. What about the rugby? So obviously got the Lions tour, and you've also got the Wales internationals going as well, haven't you? So if we start with Wales, probably better.
Yeah, I did not watch the game at all or follow it really. I think it was Halfpenny's 100th test for Wales and the Lions collectively. So that's
well, Halfpenny went off injured after 5 minutes. Yeah,
5 minutes. Oh god!
After like 5 minutes, he had a really bad injury. I think it was his thigh. I'm not sure. So not great. But 68-12 was the final score between Wales and Canada. That puts some demons to bed, because we lost against Canada a few years ago, didn't we? So that's nice.
Yeah, first ever rugby international I went to was between the England Saxons, so B team for England and Canada.
Oh, that's interesting. Where was that?
That was we were down in Worcester for some reason. I don't know, some meeting Mum had to go to, so we went down for a few days. And the hotel, I can't remember the name of it, but the hotel we stayed in was next to it was called the Six Ways Stadium at the time, where Worcester Warriors play. Don't know if it's called that anymore, but yeah, they had a game on one of the days we were there. So tickets were widely available. So I think they had 2 or 3 on during the day. It was like a cup type thing, but yeah, decent mid-level side Canada, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, what the most impressive thing for me? Well, not so much impressive, but the good thing for Callum Sheedy scoring 7 points from his boot. So that's very good. I think he's very promising. Callum Sheedy looking towards the future.
Oh, definitely. Future 10 moving forward, I'd say. Different type of 10 to bigger as well. You know, not so much a playmaker, sort of using his kicking and his range of passing to set up everything. He sort of can get a bit more in between. I know Big is great under a high ball and he can run in behind when he needs to, but so Callum Sheedy sort of gives you that extra sort of movement off the shoulder. He can make a defender miss and then get in between the lines that way.
I've just read here now, Halfpenny anterior cruciate ligament damage.
Oh, that's not a good one.
Not good. No. On his 100th cap as well. Bloody hell.
Counting how many months it'll be to the Six Nations. Quite a while.
So. Quite a while. He's got time. But I mean, that's a long spell on the sidelines, isn't it?
I've had a few, I don't know how severe Alan Wynne-Jones and Tipperick's injuries have been, but this week hasn't been great for sort of our bigger name players picking up knocks.
I think Alan Wynne said that he's going to aim to make some kind of miracle recovery and feature a little bit in the Lions test. But I think Alan Wynne's is maybe, it's ended his Lions tour most likely, but it's probably more likely to feature than Tipperick is what I got from it. But there you go. I don't know. He's out of the squad now, I suppose, isn't he?
I think they've called Adam Baird up as a replacement. I don't know if they've replaced a flanker or anything like that.
Right. And the British Lions, we're kind of proudly call ourselves non-British, being Welshman and everything. But I mean, when the Lions is on, it's something to follow, I suppose, isn't it? I do often get quite excited by it. Not so much this time, though, because I've been so focused on the football. It's the only thing I've been thinking about for like the past month. So I haven't really been following it. But we played against another team called the Lions, South African team. With it being the tour of South Africa, usually the Lions play some local teams before they go on to start the actual tests. So the Lions won 56-14. So Wales did better. Josh Adams scored 4 tries. He's going to be such a massive talent. He already is. I think he's starting really to enter into his prime now, Josh Adams.
Oh, definitely. His ability just to finish sort of in any situation, really. Like I think the top try scorer at the 2019 World Cup. He was our top try scorer anyway. Been brilliant throughout the Six Nations, and
first name
even just like the little set. Yeah, definitely. Even like the little set plays and that. Like there was a try in one of the game. Was it the England game where they were set in the line from? It can't have been from more than like the 22 and Bigger played the crossfield kick right into the corner. It was just the little little things like that. You can just turn a game on its head. And he scored in the first game. I only watched the first half of the first game because it was on Saturday before the football, but I think he scored fairly early on in that. He scored 4, scoring 4 in a Lions shirt. That's fantastic. It's his first tour as well, isn't it? So he's already on 5 tries in 2 games.
That's all right, isn't it?
Ridiculous. I know it's only against the Province side in Japan at Murrayfield, but yeah, he's been fantastic since he's come into the Wales sides. I think Worcester did very, very well to pick him up when they did, when I think he was trying to get a regional contract, but the money wasn't right for him. So he went over the border to play, got into the side as one of the 3 wildcard players. And so that's earned him a move to the Blues now. And whenever he's on international duty a lot, he plays really well in the Pro 16, whenever, or whatever it's called now.
The Rainbow Cup.
Rainbow Cup. Couldn't tell you, pal.
And Reece Summit also scored in his debut.
That was brilliant try as well. Nice kicking behind.
Reece Lightning. He's going to be something special as well if everything goes to plan. He doesn't have any hiccups in his what I suppose really are his formative years on the international stage. He's going to be brilliant. Hopefully he'll have a good crack at the whip during the Lions tour. It looks like yes, because I think his try was quite early on in the game.
Yeah.
So happy days, really. I mean, we're coming out, apart from having lost our captain and everything, we're coming out of the Lions tour quite well so far. So we'll keep everyone updated on that and probably have a bit more chat about it as the football sort of starts to die down. We'll probably dive a bit further into the rugby, all to Lewis's dismay.
As Lewis is not a rugby
man. Not a rugby guy. I'll just stay silent.
You're not a rugby man, are you?
No.
It could be fun if you watch it and you give.
I've tried watching it. I just don't like the game.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
You love the
RGC. I've been live. I still can't get into it.
Did you come to the RGC game with us, or was it just the?
No, I came.
It's just a final.
You mean your dad, I think.
Oh, so yeah. If it was the one in Cardiff, it was us 3.
Yeah, no, you did come to the.
I can't remember.
It was Alex that didn't. He got the train.
Yeah,
back,
Alex came for Judgment Day and then left.
That's it.
We went both days.
No, that was good, Lewis. No,
it's all right.
That's different though. It's live rugby.
I just don't like the game.
I can make Ella go to a football match, but I can't make her sit and watch one on telly. I get it. It's slightly different.
Yeah, if someone's watching it, I'm not going to moan because it's sport and it's better than EastEnders or something stupid like that.
It is better than EastEnders. It is better than EastEnders.
But, I just don't enjoy the sport. Like, if it's on, it's on.
Fair play.
But I'm not going to go out my way and be like, oh, Wales are playing whoever. Like,
Lewis, who is famously very set in his ways, if he doesn't like it, he will not do it. Like, I was just thinking of Judgment Day when we went to go watch Judgment Day in Cardiff, and Marty was trying for like 2 hours to get you to have a sip of his ale. I don't like it. I just want my lager.
He had a proper go at me, didn't he?
We're in the Millennium Stadium, Lewis. You've got to try a bit of SA Gold. I
told you I don't like ale. And then
I don't like ale, but you've got to drink it because it's there.
It started outside, didn't it? Because we were in Tiny Rebel. You were trying to make it have a sip of your cut, wasn't it? And Lewis is like, no, Martin, I don't want it. And Martin, like, really
drink it.
You'll love it. Just try it.
Literally, like, forced it down me, didn't he?
Yeah. And then, but Lewis, fair play to you. If you don't want
to do anything,
you will not do it, will you? You just won't do it.
Wait, that's mate. It's got to be
peer
like
pressure
that.
Ain't got nothing on you.
Lewis is the one that sat through all those PSE lessons and actually took note and did just say no.
Didn't do PSE, mate.
Well, didn't want to do it. That's why I didn't do it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing this. I know what's right and wrong.
All right, very good, boys. What about the music, lads? What are you guys listening to at the moment? I've got 3 words for you. The creator, Tyler.
He's got new music out.
Yeah, he just put out a new, I don't know, album, mixtape. I never really know what the difference is. It's very good. Worth a listen. You're not into your rap, are you, Lewis?
No.
Well, Tyler the
That's
Creator...
someone else you're not going to force me to listen to.
Tyler the Creator is a bit more expansive than just, like rap and stuff. It's a bit, I don't know, if you say genre.
Sings a lot more nowadays, doesn't he?
It's good music, you know what I mean? Even if you don't like rap or anything, good music's good music, innit? And you can appreciate it, I suppose. But it's Call Me If You Get Lost is the name of the. I think it's been. Do you know what is the difference between an album and a mixtape? Can you enlighten me?
Don't really know.
I don't know. In all the news I've read on it, it's been saying mixtape, and I'm like,
I think a
As a tape, just a
mixtape
few
might be.
songs.
No, because it's a lot of the times they're the same length as an album.
Right.
I think an album's recorded. You don't always record an album in one studio with one producer, but for the most part, an album or an EP is recorded sort of with one producer or one group of people in one or two or a few spaces, whereas like a mixtape, oh, here's a song I did with this producer and this artist. And I think it's more of a mashup like that.
interesting.
So there's less continuity in the production, maybe, but a lot of times I'll master a mixtape as a whole. But I think that's where the mixtape thing originally came from. I don't think it's as to that degree anymore, but
sure. But it's a good album / mixtape. It's very good. It's a bit more of a return to sort of the rappy style over Igor and oh god, what's the other one called with the bees? I can't remember. But yeah, it's definitely worth a listen. And like I said, with Tyler the Creator, I always say to anybody who doesn't like rap, if you want to get into rap and everything, Tyler the Creator is always a good way to go because he brings in influences from all over the place, and it's just good music, like we were saying. On the Welsh language front, I haven't really listened. Nothing really has come out that's caught my eye. So that's a shame. I've still been listening to Pismelin. That album is really, really good. I really recommend it. What about you, Marta? What are you listening to these days?
I haven't really been listening to any music, to be honest with you, mate. I've been
apart from secondhand, it's coming home.
Yeah, there's a pub down the road that not many cheers were going up yesterday. I have to say, when the football was on, which I don't really mind, but
probably because they knew they'd already won it for
slightly concerning. Even when the first goal went and had the window open, didn't hear a peep out of them. But yeah, we had. I thought I had a leaky radiator. I think I told you guys, but it was actually the bathtub wasn't sealed properly, so Ella had had a shower and the water had leaked down. So we were dealing with that for a couple of days, and then she's been trying to look for new work, something that's actually salary paid, not hour paid. So I've been a very busy boy this week. I did sit down at one point and have a listen to Unknown Pleasures, the remaster, unfortunately, which you haven't listened to. You're not a Joy Division fan, are you, Lewis?
I don't mind them.
They're a band you could make. Oh, okay.
I don't mind them.
Have you listened to their first album before ever? So I think that's an album you'd
Lewis
quite
likes
enjoy.
one that isn't just him.
Yeah.
I think you and me, Sam, we should start setting Lewis some homework at the end of the show, since he's got his new job all sorted now, and he's moving in with his missus and everything.
Here's some homework.
Give him an album to listen to and do us a little review on the next week if he jumps on.
Why not? Well, Unknown Pleasures.
Might be, yeah. I need to check my availability next week. I've got a lot of things going on, especially, just a lot of things going on. Like I'm moving out my actual flat that I was in. So yeah, I'm quite busy.
Moving everything.
Here's one for you, though. We're going back to the music. I've got to get my section out of the way because I know it's going. Smashing Pumpkins for me.
Ooh, very good. What album?
That's nice.
None of the albums. 2013 Glastonbury.
Ah, cool.
We've got some videos on YouTube, especially Tonight is amazing.
Yeah, they're one of those bands, Smashing Pumpkins, where wherever I've listened to them, it's always been in passing. You know what I mean? I've never sat down and proper smashed out.
Yeah, when you listen to the songs, they're actually quite good.
Oh yeah, mate,
surprisingly, but I know what you mean. Sometimes you don't put an album on; you can just play a few songs.
Dude.
But when I listen to them, I go through a phase of being like, "Oh, these are great," and then just not listening to them for ages, and then coming back to them. But yeah, they're great. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, my dad went to see Smashing Pumpkins in the 90s with my uncle, and my uncle was a massive fan, huge fan, and my dad just sort of went along because there's a spare ticket going, I think. Oh, yeah. And my dad was like, it was like the most boring concert he'd ever been to and everything. But if you ask my uncle, it was like the best concert he's ever been to. So it just goes to show. I think it's a bit of Marmite, isn't it, Smashing Pumpkins? But I'm a fan, although I'm not a huge fan or anything. Siamese Dream, I've spun that album a lot growing up and everything, but I've never really gone a lot further than that, so I can't comment much on it. But I think it's got the most famous songs, isn't it, Siamese Dream? It's got what do you call it? Cherub Rock is the one with that really cool guitar riff in it, and oh god, Today as well.
There's a Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. I think is that a double album?
I think so, but that's like a fan. That's the best one apparently, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the one that's more
a
like
lot of big hits on that. I think it's got Tonight on it.
Quite possibly.
Bullet with Butterfly Wings.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a massive album.
They've got a good catalogue though, and it's not like they sort of went away for 20 years and they just randomly come back in the last 5 years. I think they've sustained a pretty good career for probably late 80s when they started up, and then early 6 years.
Yeah, I was looking at it the other day because when I was watching the Glastonbury one, I did notice there were, what's it called? There was only the lead singer.
Yeah.
The still band. So I think it went up to 2000, then 2006 they rejoined. But the original band, well, the other members of the band didn't join back. So it was like 3 completely new.
Yeah. I always find it hard
to imagine Billy Corgan being a bit of a weird guy to get on with. Sat on the roller coaster.
I always find it a bit difficult to get into a band when you already know that they've split up and it's just a singer left or something. I always find it a bit difficult to get into a band that's like that. But no, Smashing Pumpkins is a great shout. Fair dues, Lewis. I
got something right.
Just touching on that point you just made, Sam, we saw me and Ella saw the Sisters of Mercy about a week before lockdown, #1, funnily enough. But that's one of those bands where it's just Andrew Eldritch now, and there's none of the. Well, that wasn't really that didn't really seem to make a difference, to be honest with you. I think they're that sort of band where it is more driven by him.
Sisters of Mercy are one of them. Yeah, that's basically a solo project, I think, with him, isn't it? Because I mean, I think the original members of Sisters of Mercy left to go and form the Mission.
That's it.
The Mission.
They do
with Wayne. I can't remember his name now. Wayne. I think it also begins with a H, but not Wayne Hennessy. But Sisters of Mercy are another good. But he is a real piece of work, I think, isn't he, Andrew Eldritch? He's nigh on impossible to work with. I think it is the reputation he has. When I saw Sisters of Mercy, I saw them in Sonosphere in 2011, I think, and I was a bit younger. I wasn't really a massive fan at that time. I knew like Temple of Love, and that was about it. But that gig was just so weird. It was so I think it was the drum machine was just so piercingly loud. So it just sounded like this bold man shouting over random drum beats, and it was really bad. So I was a bit disappointed. So I'd really like to see Sisters of Mercy again, just to make up for that terrible gig.
I mean, we were quite lucky. Like, we saw him in Leeds, so hometown show in essence at the O2 Academy. But it's in a sort of set venue, not a tent at tent at a festival. So the sound's going to be a little bit better. But it seemed a bit weird for me. A lot of he basically had 2 children playing guitar for him, probably lads about my age, and then this really old dude who just had sunglasses on. He looked like a sort of 90s rave DJ, but he was operated Dr. Avalanche, is it? The synthesizer and drum machine combo things. Just operating that, literally holding one hand on the keyboard for a little bit and then just having his hands in the air for probably about 60 minutes of an 80-minute set. So, weird show, but enjoyed it. A lot of old goths from Leeds in there, sort of digging the blackout again after 20 years of working in sales. So that was quite fun to see. However, I did sneeze at one point and everyone jumped back about 6 feet. So it was the only time we actually got any elbow room in the Sneezing wasn't even a symptom of COVID at this time.
Coughing, I think, wasn't it?
And people were still ramming the pubs after St. Patrick's Day. So
yeah. Well. Oh well. For me, I haven't been to a gig in Christ knows how long. The last gig I went to was the Pixies in A Coruña, which was in February of last year, I think, something like that. Which feels like a lifetime ago now, doesn't it? But that was good. I'd never seen the Pixies before. That was really good. I've got my tickets for Primavera if that happens. So fingers crossed that doesn't get cancelled. Who knows? That's next year though, isn't it? All the festivals are getting cancelled now, aren't they? My dad managed to go to Download. Oh,
they did 10,000 there or something.
Exactly, yeah. And there was no social distancing, no masks or anything like that. He went to that. He said it was great, but he went home dead early on the Sunday to watch Wales-Italy game.
Legend.
Aye.
There's Has there been any fallout from that, like any cases or
Not
much?
that
I haven't
not
heard
that.
anything. Because everyone, anytime there's something like this, like a test event, you just hear the NIMBYs and all the really paranoid people getting up in social media, isn't it? People get up in arms over anything. But you just hear a lot of, oh, you can't do this. Like, well, it's a test event. You've got to sort of test the water at some point, unless you want to stay in your flat for the next 6 years or whatever.
Well, my dad had to do like a few, what do you call it, homemade tests? Not homemade tests. Tests at home. It's not like he sat there like making a test.
Get an earbud out of the bathroom cupboard, put it down your throat.
and all that. So I guess it seems pretty, it seemed fine, I guess. I think with the Scotland-England game, there's been loads of cases linked to that, hasn't it? But that just looked like...
Oh, they're all drinking in the streets and doing what they want.
In Spain, there's a lot of this at the moment as well, because
You've got...
it's more Spanish culture. People don't never really tend to drink in the bar. They drink in the street. They call it botellón. They call it... So there's a lot of botellones happening in like the big cities and stuff. When you see the pictures, it's a bit mad, yeah. But at the same time, you know, I feel, because I understand their point, because they're saying, well, why can't we drink in the street with our friends and everything if we wear a mask while we're not drinking? But then if you go to the metro or something, it's like, you know, shoulder to shoulder and everything. So, but I don't know. Everyone's got an opinion on everything, haven't they? I think we need to learn to just sort of like take a step down and just let the experts deal with it.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, been jabbed and I haven't got 5G signal on my phone yet. If anything, it's like still really bad, so that we can knock that conspiracy on the head, I guess. You've
got jabbed as well, haven't you, Lewis?
Yeah, I've got the first one. Need to sort out my second one.
I haven't had anything yet. It's so much slower here in Spain.
You're not allowed one.
It's because they're playing by the rules. I mean, the UK just sort of just shat over everybody, didn't they?
Buy as much as we can. Oh, it's different though. Do you really have any pharmaceutical companies that are making like a Spanish equivalent of it? Because we're lucky having a big pharmaceutical company to be able to do that as well. Sure. You know, that's always going to help you a bit.
Elena's had her 2 jabs because she's a teacher. Her parents, who are like in their 70s, only had the 1 jab. I think people my age, because this new Delta variant thing is affecting more younger people. I think people my age now, like from the end of July, we do it like you make your own appointment sort of thing. So fingers crossed, I'll finally have my jab, because I feel so far. Max has had a jab. He's bloody 20. You know. So I don't know.
They haven't forgotten about you, mate. Don't worry.
Well, the thing that's that as well, isn't it? Being a foreigner, you don't know if they even know you're here at sometimes. You know. But I've gone to the doctors and signed up with the doctor and everything like that to try and make sure there's no, I don't know, there's no chance of me just falling through the cracks or whatever. But we'll just see what happens. I mean, Spanish bureaucracy is not exactly watertight, let's say. But there you go. Neither is British bureaucracy. No one's democracy is any good. But...
I mean, you guys fought fascism more recently than we did, but
yeah, but they didn't.
Sort of coming
they didn't win, though, Martin. They didn't win. They just waited for them to die. they didn't overthrow their dictator. They just waited until he was dead and then just changed things after that. You know, it's like someone at the party that's really annoying and no one asks them to leave. They just wait until they're gone and go, "Oh, right, turn the music back on now, guys." You know. But there you
go. Anyone got any closing thoughts, arguments? Are you trying to advertise that you saw something?
What?
By lifting your sponsor up? Resource IT recruitment. Are you recruiting for someone to produce the show?
My closing comment is Wales is for life, not just for the Euros. It's been much worse than this in the past. It's never been better.
That's very true.
It's never been better. So, chins up in it, Chris Gunter it, and we'll be back hopefully for the World Cup.
Yeah,
definitely. I don't really have a closing thought.
I think we leave it with Sam's. Good enough.
Leave it with Sam's.
Yeah,
just cut it there.
Leave me to do the quiz question. Leave me to do the.
Right, finish it now before he goes on a rant. Come on.
I'll just edit it so it cuts off like mid trivia question, make him really upset. Just edit that whole little bit.
And then just have your own part.
Or just insert one of the old trivia questions where he gets it wrong. So, no, I didn't say that. That's the beauty of being in charge of all the editing. Right, I think we'll leave it there then, boys. We'll be back probably not same time next week on Sportinarium and YouTube and everything. We'll just try and pepper one in as and when there's a bit of news. But yeah, there's not going to be that long between the football starting up again, because I think they usually start a lot of the seasons in August. Oh yeah, I do have a final thought actually. Before we came on, I saw that the National League have said that they will not restart the league unless they are allowed fans back into the stadia. So I guess sort of balls in the park for the people making the legislation now.
Well, especially for us, because we've got Mark Drakeford. He's a bit more cautious, isn't he? So that could bugger us a little bit, but we'll see what happens.
Let's see what happens, guys.
Either we'll be starting sometime in August, or Wrexham will be shoehorning about 6 or 7 games into 3 months before Christmas, which might be fun.
Again, like the end of this season.
Anyway, we'll leave it there then. Thanks for joining me, boys. Nice to do one on a Sunday morning, sort of afternoon time. It's been good.
All right, all the best.
All the best, boys.
Take care, lads. Ta.
See you later.